Due to road closures, tonight's episode of Antique Roadkill Show will not be seen, but never fear. Here's another tasteless podcast.
Welcome to For Music Lovers Only, a podcast where each host makes a top 5 list of their favorite songs from this week's topic. Each week is a new topic. Tune in, I dare you. Music Lovers Only.
Well, because we were just talking about it, The End by The Doors, that was a song that I could probably play on repeat. That would be my heaven song if I was on Psychedelia or whatever. Yeah. That was one that brought me real close. My number 2, Are You Experienced, Jimi Hendrix, which gets you in a mode and some of these psychedelic songs get too up for me. That really throws off what you're trying to do. So I like it, I don't know what you want to call it, but kind of maintained through the song.
Balance.
Yeah. My number 3 was Dark Star, Grateful Dead. That was one that off and on with the Grateful Dead. They weren't like a top 10 for me, but they were good party or that kind of music. I mean, they had a bunch of good stuff, obviously, but.
Well, like I said, I don't really count them I mean, I know they're there, but most of their stuff wasn't psychedelic. The music and stuff, it wasn't.
No, most of it wasn't.
It's like folk.
If you go listen to Dark Star,
they're like folk stoners.
Exactly, but go listen to that song.
Dark Star?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you'll get it. It's more a long, stretched out, almost monotone. That's how I consider a psychedelic. It doesn't, because you don't want to, in the middle of a trip or whatever, you don't want to go way too up or way too low. You want to be balanced, or else it's going to cause a bad time.
Yeah.
Grace by Country Joe and the Fish.
Oh yeah.
Man, that song, I don't remember where I was at, but I was at some older dude's house, and we were sitting around and ate a pizza with stuff on it. And man, they introduced me to that. And that's probably honestly where Dark Star came from too, because this guy was probably in his 50s or 60s. And he just had that music playing all the time. And that was an awesome song. And since he took Strawberry Fields from me, I'll just go with Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, because I had to get a Beatles on there. And I was always listening to some of that, because they're another one of those bands that obviously was not fully in that category, but
they had their phase.
Well, that's what I said. There was a 2 or 3 album in a row where they were heavily doing psychedelic music, or, even their love songs turned into almost a psychedelic music during that time. Yeah. And then I also had on there, just as honorable mention from them, I Am the Walrus. It's kind of the same thing, especially if you're in that mode and you're listening to them, that it makes no sense to be written sober or to not be on something.
You're all right. There's certain Beatles albums, once you put them on, especially the psychedelic area, you just don't want to take them off because you want to hear the whole thing.
Oh yeah, man. I think that's what got, even as a young dude, man, the Beatles, they were a gateway drug, I mean, I went from the normal happy stuff, drinking and doing the other stuff, to we got into here, then you knew when they were on this. Back then, what drug was providing the music, my band.
Well, I'm Only Sleeping was my Beatles. It didn't make the final cut, but it was on the list originally.